95%, most people are decent, are meek in a way, but those 5% can ruin your life, and they're everywhere around you. You have to be strong, and you have to know how to defend yourself.
You're not aware of the source, that you are the one causing other people to flee you because you're afraid that they're going to abandon you. You have to abandon them first, so you feel like you're in control. It becomes the pattern of your life. Being aware that you are irrational by nature, you can suddenly start becoming rational. You can suddenly start finding a different way of dealing with your emotions and not letting them govern your life. You're not aware of all of these little hidden layers of things that are occurring inside of you. You're not aware of the source, that you are the one causing other people to flee you because you're afraid that they're going to abandon you. You have to abandon them first, so you feel like you're in control. It becomes the pattern of your life. It's irrational, but you don't see it that way. You see, in that moment when she was acting cold, man, I'm the most rational person in the world. I'm anticipating her leaving me. What could be more rational than I realize she's going to abandon me and I'm going to break it off? But you don't realize that it's extremely irrational, that it comes from a very emotional place. You probably already thought this way to a degree, but normally you go through life reacting to what just people give you.
Right.
You see that boss who's a control freak, and you get emotional and you get sucked into all the drama, and you're continually responding to the appearances that people present, not realizing that something else is going on in their head behind the mask. And when you suddenly start to peel away the layers and understand what motivates people and see that at the root could be some childhood trauma or some other issue they're dealing with, suddenly it changes, right? You now have options. You now realize, I don't have to get emotional. Maybe this isn't somebody I want to work for. You have options in life, and that's the key to this game. Instead of always reacting to people in which you have no options, that's the only thing you can do is get angry or resentful or envious. I'm showing you, you can go one of 3 or 4 ways. You can cut that person out of your life. You can not take them personally and say, oh, that's just who they are, that's fine. You can find a way to kind of minimize the damage that they're doing by becoming strategic and taking certain actions to prevent them from harming you. You have options in life instead of always reacting emotionally. Our ability to think is interconnected with our emotions. Einstein discovers the theory of relativity because he's so excited and emotionally involved in solving this problem that he's able to think about it so for hour after hour. If you're not motivated and love something, you're not going to learn about it. Emotions play a very valuable part in our life. We are very rich, emotionally rich animals. People like to think that what separates us from a dog or a cat is that we think, but actually you could say what separates us from the dog or the cat is that we feel a range of 20, 30 emotions that they're not even able to think, to process. And that's what makes us human. So emotions aren't necessarily bad, but who is governing the ship? There's a metaphor I use in the rationality chapter of the rider on the horse. The horse is your emotions. It is more powerful. The horse is more powerful than the human animal. It's faster, it's stronger, it's more powerful. We are the rider on top of it. Is it the horse that's governing it, taking us everywhere we want without us controlling it at all, making us get into porn and going into video games and making bad decisions? Or are we the rider that has the reins that can master that horse? Mastering that horse doesn't mean beating it to death and making it stand still. You want that horse to move. It's active, it's alive, it's powerful. Think of all the things that we've been able to do once we learned how to use horses, in war, etc. You want that animal to be able to move, but you want to be able to guide it. You want reins, you want a degree of control. You want to be a bit of a master of your emotions so you can use them. You use that example of choosing the wrong person to marry, like I'm going to marry her in Vegas that you just met. Most important chapters in the book is about the ability to judge people's character, right? The ability to see deep within them and to see that core of their being and what governs their behavior and what makes them repeat the same kind of patterns of behavior over and over again. And when you're constantly going around just reacting to what people do, looking at their face and getting charmed by them, you're not seeing what's really going on. And so you'll end up hiring people because they're charming or pleasing or have a good resume. Or you'll end up marrying someone because they flatter you and they make you feel good about this or the other. And then you get into the relationship and you see something really ugly and dark that you hadn't anticipated, and you blame them for deceiving you. But in fact, the source of the problem is you. You're not able to judge people's character. You're simply reacting to the appearances they present. People never do anything once. We are compulsive animals that continually repeat the same behavior. Everybody around you has these kinds of patterns. I say that there's something genetic about it. It's in their DNA. It's how their brains are wired. They can't help doing certain patterns. And it's also their childhood, their parents, their upbringing, the level of attachment with their parents. There's something very deeply ingrained in their character. And you want to have the ability to assess it. So you want to see patterns that people reveal. No one ever is completely opaque. You can see the patterns from what they've done in the past. There are some people who deliberately attract the wrong person in their life.
For sure.
So that they can have lots of drama and can complain about it. And then you'll only see the drama and you'll see them complaining. You won't realize that they're actually partially or completely the source of the drama that's going on. I'm kind of obsessed with typology, with figuring out what kind of type a person is and seeing commonalities with other people that I've known in life and that I've read about in history. And so I make the case that some people are toxic. And what I mean by that is they have deep levels of insecurity and issues stemming from a troubled, damaged childhood, usually. And they have patterns that are pretty negative and destructive. They have a need to sabotage other people or to sabotage themselves. And getting involved with someone like that can really ruin your life. You get sucked into their dramas. They kind of control the dynamic. They feed off of controlling you by all of the emotions that they can stir up. So I want to give you a kind of a roadmap for identifying some of these toxic types before they become entangled in your life. We're all narcissists. We are all on that spectrum. We all think first and foremost of ourselves. But some people are so low on the spectrum, they're so deeply narcissistic that they cannot ever rise up. They can't think of other people. Their need is to constantly have attention. So normally, our way of dealing with our own self-absorption and our own need for attention from other people is to create a self that we love, that we respect. We like ourselves to some degree. We think that we're worthy of something. And whenever something bad happens, we're at least able to revert to this idea that we're actually a person that is good, that we love. A deep narcissist doesn't have that sense. They can't get attention or validation or a feeling of security from themselves. It can only come from other people. So they become masters at getting attention from being very dramatic, from stirring up a lot of trouble, so that the attention comes to them. They can be extremely dangerous once you get entwined with them, because people who are deep narcissists don't view you as a human being. They view you as an object that they can use to further their agendas.
And it has to be under control. So in life, you have to be a strategist. You can't just depend on energy and domineering and aggression. It has to be something that you can control, and that to channel it means that you have the willpower and the ability, the self-awareness to know, I need to channel it, I need to put it into this direction or that direction. Sometimes in life, I need to step back. Other times you need to have a form and be aggressive. The great leaders and a great masculine quality, and it comes from warfare, is being strategic and is knowing what fits the circumstance. So aggression has to be not just physical, it has to be intellectual, it has to be mental. Part of that mental process is, I have all of this energy, it's very powerful, I'm aware of it, how can I use it to best effect? You have to have some self-detachment. Some of these leaders, and even Elon Musk to some degree, are not self-aware, And it can be their Achilles heel. They can go too far. They don't know when to step back. They don't know how to put that iron fist inside of a velvet glove and be a little, strategically, not in a weak sense. To me, if I were to create that masculine virtue, that Frankenstein that I alluded to, it's a man who also knows how to be incredibly strategic about life and knows when to hit and when to pull back and when to be ferocious and when to be gentle and sweet, etc. And in control of your energy. That is the key. You have it. So I compare it to a person who's riding a horse. I've done this metaphor, I don't even know, on this show before. You are like a rider on top of a horse. The horse is your energy, is that aggressive masculine energy, and horses are incredibly powerful animals. They can go faster than almost any other animal. They're incredibly strong and powerful. You are the rider. If you let the horse just go anywhere, it's going to run off a cliff, it's going to throw you, it's going to kill you. But if you hold the reins too tight and you try and control everything that it does, the horse senses that you're weak and it won't follow you, and it just will sit down and become stubborn like a mule. But if you know how to hold it and I used to ride horses, if you know how to hold it kind of firmly but not too firmly, you know how to keep your thighs so the horse knows that you're there directing it, then you have the power to guide it. And that is what I'm talking about. You have this energy, this strength, this ambition, this competitive desire. If you don't control it, it's just going to run you into all kinds of problems. Brings a man to power is often that id, that incredible undirected energy. It's so strong, it makes a prince. Makes him a CEO. But then once he arrives there and circumstances change and now he has to be a manager, or now the world has changed, he can't shift. He only knows that one gear and it ends up destroying him. Machiavelli's ideal, and mine as well, is a man who understands how to shift with the times, knows that my aggressive energy isn't going to always work and I need to be able to take it a step back. And that was what was wrong with the American Apparel CEO. He only had one gear. He only had to go one direction. He didn't know how to kind of deviate and how to move with the times. It wasn't 2006 anymore. Things were moving and changing. Adapt with the times, being fluid and formless, and having that water quality that Bruce Lee talks about. I mean, martial artists have probably the best way of channeling that aggressive energy. To me, that's almost, perhaps in some ways, the perfect metaphor here for it. Because you can't be a master in martial arts if you haven't mastered yourself and your brain and your energy. You have to master yourself, and then you can kick butt in any kind of encounter or battle. But most of us aren't going to confront that. What you're going to confront is that ugly energy that you find in the office, that you find in business, where you find people who are duplicitous, who have bad intentions, right? But they're smiling. They seem to be on your side. They've got money, they've got funding, they seem like a legitimate person. And then you find out that they're not what you thought they were. And so if you enter life being naive, thinking that appearances are what people are, that people aren't necessarily so tricky, if you're not willing to look behind and see what's behind the mask, then you are in for a life of pain. The violence that we're facing in the world today is not the violence that ancient Romans faced on the battlefield, with swords going directly into your chest. I mean, come on, who could face that now? But we face veiled violence. We face people who don't want to hurt you physically, but they're going to hurt you mentally. They're going to play with you, right? And so you have to be strong, strategic. You have to understand the game. You have to understand the laws of power. You have to understand that there are some people who have bad intentions. And I say the percentage of them are like 5%. They're certainly not 95%. Most people are decent, are meek in a way. They're not lions, they're more like sheep. But those 5% can ruin your life, and they're everywhere around you. You have to be strong, and you have to know how to defend yourself. So you're not going to maybe face the terror, but you're going to face a kind of psychological terror that if you enter the world and you're 22 and you're not prepared for it, and you think everything is just sweet and nice because that's how you've been brought up, You know, everyone is, if they appear to be virtuous, they are virtuous. You're going to be in a lot of pain and you're going to suffer for it, and you're going to be fired, and you're going to end up being 35 and you don't know where your career is going. You don't realize you took a wrong turn because you were naive. So to me, it's more the psychological terror and dangers that we face more than the physical ones.